Hey everyone, welcome to the Velocity Workshop today, where we're doing a masterclass all on how you can attain velocity in your life. But really, why we're here is to celebrate and to party, to celebrate the Become podcast. So, tell me if you're loving podcasts, if you're super into podcasts, if you listen all the time, drop podcast below and I'll get you the podcast link. All right. I actually also want to hear, how are the allergies doing in your area that you're in? Hey, Felicia. The allergies here in Texas have taken it up a notch. That is for sure. I'm having to do my regimen. If you caught my stories, you could kind of see a couple regimens I do before I get going, but it is definitely heightened here. That is for sure. So welcome, you guys. Oh, I'm so glad you're into podcasts. I love them too. Okay, so tell me, when do you listen to podcasts? Is it like while you're cleaning, while you're walking, working out, or driving places? I would love to hear where you're listening to podcasts. I love to listen to podcasts while either I get ready for the day or I am like at the end of my workout while I'm walking and stuff like that. So I am really excited. Now, grab your workbook. We're going to go through this and then we'll do a bunch of prizes at the end. And I'm very excited about all the prizes. So make sure you stay to the end to hear about the prizes that we're going to give away and the free course that I newly launched. I'm going to give it free to you for this launch party. So I'm Courtney Koenig, and hey everybody. I'm Courtney Koenig. I'm igniting your human design to become a powerful, purposeful, profitable boss of your business, of your life, and of everything that you hoped and you dreamed. Now, as we go through human design, we want to know that human design is our tool to become. It's our tool to be better. It's our tool to help us get to the goals that we want to get into. Now, if you look in your workbook, if you don't have your workbook, just drop workbook below, but you can still follow along, okay? Make sure that you're, in this moment. Don't worry about if you don't have the workbook. It's no big deal. We can get that to you later, okay? But what is human design? I get this all the time. Now, please, if you know your human design type, drop your human design type in the comments and then tell me, how has your human design type, knowing you more, helped you in your life, helped you in your business, helped you with your goals, helped you to take next steps in your life? I would love to hear it, all right? Human design is a chart based on your birth information, and it tells you the gifts that you were born with. It tells you the gifts that you were born with. Now, when we see that chart, right, it's kind of crazy, right? But what we're doing is we're taking actionable intel from that chart and we're saying, this is a gift that is in your DNA. It's energetically within you. And here's what you're going to do about it. Here's the beauty that you're going to create within your human design. Here are the gifts magnetizing you to the next level, right? The greatest thing that we can do as business owners and as people is to know ourselves and accept ourselves and look at the beautiful, magnificent power that we have in our lives. That is the greatest work that you can do every single day, and it has to be daily. It has to be daily. Otherwise, we forget how wonderful we are. Hey, guys. Hey, Sabrina. Hey, Leslie. I don't know if I said hi to you before, but there you go. Make sure if you're in StreamYard, if you allow StreamYard to accept so I can see your name as well. Now, human design is the system to help us understand and believe more in ourselves. And that belief in ourselves creates power and strength. Now, how much time do you spend daily pouring into yourself? And that can be my Become students. You're reading your text, you're doing your Voxering, or you're reading the text, you're journaling, reading books. How much time do you spend on yourself? And I want you to notice. I want you to tell me, how much time do you spend on yourself? Notice that it's not compared to the whole day, right? We have 1 to 2 hours. What is that percentage wise? Gosh, I don't even know. Is that 1%? I don't know. Anyway, we don't spend much time on ourselves during the day. We don't spend much time pouring on ourselves. Have you guys had a really good day where you're like, oh my goodness, I could do this. I feel so good. I feel amazing. And you get a lot done, and you get things done that you thought maybe you weren't capable in the past of getting done, or you say yes to something where you're like, yes, I should be doing this. I want to do this so bad. I've been trying to do this, and you have a really good day and you go out and do it, right? That is what human design is trying that to help you tap into that feeling every single day, is to look and say, hey, you know what? I have this gift. I'm going to lean into myself. I'm going to stand taller. And so when I stand taller, I attract more things towards me. And it comes with ease and satisfaction and flow. It becomes a system that helps us to create a deep sense of belonging within ourselves. It untangles us from fears. It uncovers skills that helps us reach our goals. Now, from my students in Become, they've been telling me, and my coaching one-on-ones, and they've been telling me what happens to them when they are aware of their human design, they accept their human design, and they do the action steps behind it. And they say it teaches them about myself. It's a message about myself that answers prayers. It answers prayers. I'm aware of my emotions. It helps me get rid of fears. I understand how I'm wired. Even if it's just a few minutes a day, it makes me aware all day long. It's a reminder how far I've come. It helps me to feel aligned. And that alignment is gold. That alignment is everything. And that alignment should be a number one priority in our day-to-day living. I have thought I can think of a long list of things of what alignment to my soul has created for me. It's created a global coaching program in 6 different countries and more countries to come. It's created an inner peace to my way of being. Recognizing my soul has helped me to recognize other people's souls and has been the greatest gift that I can give to them. I launched this freaking podcast, you guys. This is amazing. This has really come from a journey. And all of human design is a journey. I was having my kids, because they're all older, you guys know. I have 4 kids, and the youngest is 15 up to 23. And so yesterday I was like, okay, guys, I'm launching my podcast. Go, if you can go on there and rate it and all that stuff. They have Spotify and Apple, they're on there. And so last night my husband came home and we were going to bed, which is like one of the only times we have to talk. And he's like, hey, I was listening to your podcast on the way back from UNT where he teaches. And he's like, it was really good. You're really, really good. And he's like, I knew that, but he's like, this is really good. And then one of my daughters was like, I listened to your podcast and it was awesome. And that feels so good to show up authentically, to be myself, and to have that sense of belonging because I belong to myself first. And so instead of deflecting those comments or being like, well, that's all right, I guess, I was like, thank you so much. Now, this is all a work in practice, right? Human design is a practice, just like going to the gym is a practice, just like trying to be a good parent is a practice, right? We're not looking for perfection. We're never going to be perfect. But what we're trying to do is feel good, to feel in the zone, and to have that feeling of being in the zone more than feeling blah or off or unmotivated or unfulfilled. We want to feel fulfilled and beautiful every single day. So, all right, you guys, let's go on to the next part of the workbook. And it says, what does the stuff on this chart mean? Okay. right? You get your chart and you're like, what does this mean? And you guys know I'll label the things, but I'm going to tell you what to do about it. What's the background and what do they mean? So number one is your type, okay? And you can see that on the chart as well in the workbook. But number one is your type. Your energy type is the best way you can operate in the world. The best way, right? If we can just get down our energy type, and there's 5 energy types. There's projectors, reflectors, manifesting generators, and manifestors. Now, if you can get those types down, if you can get your type down, you can do so much. You can do so much. So use it as a tool. Use it as an innate tool. Second is definition. Now, definition on that chart, you can see a definition. Definition, all it means is there's defined channels, which remember the colored in channels are defined on the body graph, and I have them all labeled there for you. And all it means is there's at least two defined centers connected to each other, but there could be 3 defined centers all connected to each other. Kind of think about it like a road map, right? Where you see streets, right? Those streets in human design are channels and gates. And when a channel, which is all the way colored and defined, goes from one energy center to the next, it lights each other up, okay? And it's like, go, 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 this is lit up. That's all it's talking about is what are your definitions? What energy centers are connected to each other? And you could have single, split, triple, and quad, okay? Now, when you have energy centers connected, they work off of each other. So on that chart, which is my chart, by the way, you can see I have the throat and the identity, which is also called the G center connected. And so for me to speak is especially good for me to do. And that's when I can hone in on this communication and connection and manifest. And so when I don't speak, I'm going to feel like, awful and off, and things aren't correct or right, or they don't flow. That's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to flow, especially when I speak about the identity, self-love, the higher way of being. That's when I get into my groove. So you see, if I step away from that, I'm stepping away from my design. Okay, number 3 is strategy. This is how you make things happen. Everybody wonders, like, how do I make things happen? Each design type has a way they make things happen. So I want to hear in the comments, what is your strategy? What is your strategy? Okay, I want to drop that in the comments. Okay, number 4 is the incarnation cross. Now, this is your life's theme, your life's purpose. What is the overarching theme of your life, and what are you here to do? How beautiful is that? One of the human design readings a few readings ago with a generator, Deborah Hawkins, we talked about her life theme. So it's a beautiful overarching way that we can connect into and drop into the life themes that we are sharing with the world and we're sharing with others, right? Okay, number 4 is, good, strategy to inform. Yes, and manifestors, when you inform, when you share, you make things happen, okay? And in that collaborative theme, you make things happen. And it's so beautiful to see. So we're going to have a manifestor come on to the podcast next week, actually. So I'm very, very excited about that. Okay. Now, profile. Here we go. Profile. So if you jump up, we're still in that top section of your chart. Profile is how you see yourself and how others see you. Wouldn't that be nice to know? Like, you know what, like how do I operate and how do I see myself? Because oftentimes we are a blind spot to our own being. We are a blind spot to how we see ourselves. And so having a chart say, hey, this is how you see yourself, we can be like, oh yeah, I can lean into that even more. And the students in Become, we just had a video on profile the other day on Monday. So that was really neat to see, like, and to remind myself, how do I operate as a 6-3? How am I showing up in that way? And how can I show up better? All right. We have number 6 is your inner authority. How do you make decisions best? Okay. Now, how have you guys used your inner authority to make decisions in your life, right? So if you don't know your inner authority, look on your chart. But if you're, you know your inner authority, drop it here and tell me how that has helped you to make better decisions in your life as you have go throughout your journey in business. That is one of the best ways we can also live our design type is through our inner authority. So if you can live your type, your profile, strategy, and inner authority, I know that's a lot, but it's really not. Again, it's a practice, okay? But if you can learn those 4 things, you can really allow yourself to become, and you can open up this floodgates of possibilities. You can open up these gifts and share them with the sphere of influence that you are looking for, with the ability to have courage and confidence and clarity to do so. I love they said that my strategy is being able to lean into my gifts of energy and able to keep going even when I'm tired and exhausted. Awesome. Yes, and it's here to back you up, right? It's here to back you up. Okay, number 7 is you're not self-themed. This is a warning sign that you're not living your human design. It's so nice to see this is a feeling, typically a feeling that comes to us when we're like, oh, something is off. It's almost like a red flag, or like hey, let's change course. It's not bad. There's nothing bad in human design. There's nothing bad inside here, right? We're not categorizing good or bad. We're releasing all judgment within ourselves. And that's what creates freedom. And human design creates freedom because it's like, hey, this is a sign you're not living in your design. Let's pivot and change that, you know? Number 8 is all the centers. Now, the centers are kind of like chakras, right? And human design has 9 energy centers, and they each have a job to do. Now, you can see them here on the chart. Each of these has a job to do. And with that job and with that gift, you can lean into that gift even more. You can utilize that gift even more. So notice that, again, I have a defined throat. So it's a good idea for me to voice message people, right? It's a good idea for me to grow my business instead of, writing a message, to actually pushing the talk button and voice messaging someone. I have gotten all the time from people I don't even know who are across the world. Like when I send a voice message, they're like, oh, hey, oh, you have such good energy. I can feel like how connected we already are through one voice message. That's the power, right? That voice message goes even farther because I have that defined throat. Now, if you don't have a defined throat, you're like, well, am I out? Of course not. No, you harness that power by environment and mood, and it comes to you. Whereas a defined is it's always, always there, okay? It's always going to back you up. It's always going to be in there. But if I didn't have a defined throat, I could type out things. That would be totally fine, right? I could use my gifts in other ways. It's not saying that one gift is better than another. It's just saying utilize your gifts. Lean into your gifts. Share your gifts with others. Don't just play small. Don't hold them back. Don't bury them. Don't ignore them. Don't think, oh, well, just because this comes easy to me, it's not special. That's not it at all. It's special because it's yours. And the more you lean into it, the more you practice it, the better you will become at it, the better you will utilize it. So, okay, number 9 is gates. They're the half line going from one energy center to the next. And they are all about your sharing another layer of gifts and personality. So yesterday I was doing a human design reading for a client, and she had gates coming off of an undefined center. And so I talked about all those gates because that's what I felt like her message she needed to hear. She needed to hear about those gates and those gifts and those no's for blah, 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 you know? And it was a powerful way for her to lean into and to build her business. It was beautiful. Now, the next one, number 10, is channels. Channels are the long lines from one energy center that's defined to another energy center that is defined all the way across, okay? So that, and those again give you gifts and flavors of your personality that you can lean into. And those gifts of, who are you? Or logically, what do you have? If it's a gift from the crown to the ajna, or if it's a sacral up to the spleen, what is your intuitive gift that's being powered by energy? So you see all that magic layers. Human design to me is like this giant puzzle, and it's fitting in all the pieces to make this beautiful picture of who you are, and then applying those to your work. Because remember, every design can have whatever business they want. Every design can have whatever career they want. Every design can have whatever goals or dreams that they're hoping for. It's just a matter of how do you navigate towards that, and you utilize your gifts more so that you speed up instead of trudging through mud and feeling like you're in quicksand or backpedaling or going against the current. And the more you go with the current, the more abilities, the faster you have to go towards that. Next on your workbook is how does human design create velocity? Now, this model, and you can fill this in. So we have a number 1 with an A. The number 1 is awareness. Human design creates velocity through awareness. And this is a model, awareness, and we'll go into the other A's, a model that life coaches use, that therapists use, that addiction recovery specialists use. So it's a very well adapted model throughout the world. So awareness is created through your human design, because if you don't even know your gifts, how do you even lean into something, right? Do you think because, again, it comes easy that it's not special? And maybe you're seeing the outline of your gift. You're like, oh, I kind of, sometimes that gift hits and you're like, well, that was a cool moment. But you could have more of those moments. You could have more security with those moments. Alignment starts with awareness. Abundance starts with awareness. Velocity starts with awareness. So how, in your human design, I want to hear you guys, how has your awareness of your design really changed the outlook on how you feel about yourself? All right, if you guys saw my stories, I got my favorite drink now is buys. So I do half of a buy and then a whole sparkling water. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. You must drink now. Oh, okay. Let me turn that off. It's so good. Okay. Second is acceptance. That is a cool gift I have. That's what acceptance is. I have this cool gift. I have this amazing gift. That is how I operate. I'm not crazy, right? How many of you guys have thought, am I crazy? Like, what's wrong with me? How many times has that gone through your head? We frame the whole picture differently when we accept who we are. And that's not to say we accept like, we're not talking about like, oh, I'm yelling at someone, type of thing. But we're accepting, hey, you know what is behind the yelling is I need more sleep and I'm not getting more sleep and I'm working too much because either I'm a projector and I'm not taking care of myself really well, and a manifestor and a reflector, those and non-energy beings, or I'm a generator or an MG and I said yes to things I shouldn't have said yes to. Now I'm really mad, type of thing. So look at what's going behind those layers. I always think that whatever comes out is a reflection of what's happening inside. So if we accept that, we can take expectations that don't serve us and we can chuck them out the window. All right. Okay. So I had, repeat the question. Yes. Let me see. What was the, I think the question was, how is knowing your awareness of your human design really helped you to become, helped you to feel better about yourself, helped you to understand yourself more? So how has your human design helped you to be aware of who you really are and be aware of your gifts? Sometimes we don't even know what our gifts are. And so we're like, oh yeah, that's a gift of mine, because we've shoved it away so much. We've pushed it away so many times that it's gone. So, okay, let me know your thoughts on that. I want to hear from everybody too. All right, the third in your workbook is action. Action. Then what do you do next? So when I was developing Become and I was launching this coaching program, I was thinking, okay, I have always loved the theory that we can change. I've always loved the parts of us that can develop. And I got my bachelor's in marriage and family therapy, and that's what I wanted to do. And then I was like, oh, I don't know. So I dropped into marketing and market research, helping build a company with my husband. And I was thinking that like when I want to make changes, the best way that I make changes is by having a support system, by having little daily tasks that help me to like be aware of something, and then having that change in sphere in my life of someone saying, hey, good job, that's awesome, being kind of that cheerleader position. But I recognized we don't change all at the same time. That's so overwhelming, right? I don't go to the gym and go from lifting 10-pound weights to 100. That's not how I do it. I take stair step-ish and work up and work up and work up, right? I was talking to a good friend of mine, and we were talking about our kids and stuff, and how being a parent of adults is really hard, okay? And let me know if you're parents of adults. It's tough. I was telling her, I was like, I had another friend tell me one time when we were looking at the cycle of growth, in our children, there's ups and downs, but it keeps going up, right? It keeps rising in this like bar graph type of thing. That's what we're doing when we take action steps. We're not changing all at the same time. We're doing micro betterments. Micro betterments create change more than saying, blitz, I'm going to change and do all these things all at the same time. And that's where human design comes in, learning over and over again who you are, who you can become, what are your gifts, what are your strategies, what are your strengths, and oftentimes what's hard for you as well, okay? Okay, so we see my awareness has helped me learn that I can teach others, courage to start my own coaching program. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. I absolutely love that. All right, next on your workbook is, how does each design type create velocity? How does each design type create this forward motion that is going with the current, that is feeling momentum pushing them instead of them having to trudge through things? Now, we're going to go through each design type and how they create this alignment to speed up. And it goes projectors. Now, who are my projectors? Tell me if you're a projector and drop it in the comments. Projectors, your emotion that you want to watch out for that's keeping you stagnant and is a sign that you're not living aligned is bitterness. Now, I'm not saying that bitterness is bad. I'm just saying it's a sign, okay? So when you feel bitter about things, just know, okay, this is a sign. Cool, I get to redirect, right? I get to go more in the flow of things. So bitterness comes from not feeling, for projectors, it comes from not feeling valued. And so when projectors try and give advice, or they're mentoring, or they're guiding, if someone doesn't want to hear it about it, bitterness comes in. Your wisdom isn't taken seriously or appreciated. And it creates this thoughts that don't serve you, like, oh, you know what? I showed up and no one really appreciated it, so I'm just going to jump off, I'm just not going to do that again because no one was into it. Comparison comes in, and there's a workaround when you lean out of that. When you're like, oh, I see that's coming in. What do I need to change? What needs to happen? What needs to shift? Okay. So pros, I want you to be watchful for bitterness. Watch out for bitterness and shift out of that, because something's going on that is not supporting you. Projectors love to be seen. They love to be, acknowledged. But so oftentimes projectors don't acknowledge their own self. That's a big battle, is playing small in that way. All right, manifestors. Manifestors, you're, again, these are not self themes. Yours is anger, and anger slows down your velocity. Anger depletes your velocity. Now, you might be thinking, gosh, I'm not really an angry kind of person. I don't really get angry. But think of, how does anger come as an emotion to you? Like, what does it come out as? And anger can come from, for manifestors, others not understanding the direction they're headed into. Manifestors are the only design type that can initiate something right away. They feel this urge inside of them. They are supposed to follow that urge and go down that pathway. And that's one of the, when they speak this, or they start heading in this direction, when others are like, oh, I don't know, lady, you know what? Or, yeah, that's not going to work out for you, or whatever it is, then, this anger can come up, right? This disconnection with who you truly are. And this can come from others not appreciating your vision, right? You just feel this urge to go do something, and you're like, here I am, I'm doing it, but others are not getting it, right? So I was talking to a colleague, and she was telling me about her family, and her family's like, we don't understand what you're doing, And she's this beautiful coaching practice, and she's super proud of it. And when people are like, oh, I don't understand that, are you just playing around? Are you just doing your little hobby? She's like, what the crap? Are you insane? And it brings in this anger, right? So just shift out of that and just recognize, okay, you know what? I need to communicate more. I need to build support around myself with people who understand that as well. All right, generators. Okay, drop in the comments if you're a generator. Oh, can you go over the 3 things again for the design to create velocity? Okay, the 3, those are awareness, acceptance, and action. All right, I'm going to look at more comments. In the beginning of my understanding my human design, finding out and learning that I am a manifestor has helped me to look at my life and realize and notice the gifts I can already prove to myself as a gift. I have seen things that I have manifested without even knowing that I was a manifestor. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you so much. Okay, generators. Generators, your not self theme, which takes you out of velocity, is frustration. And frustration can come from your days feeling unfulfilled. It can feel like, gosh, I get a lot done, and I get up early, I get so much done through the day, and I fall into bed, but I just am not happy with my life. I'm not satisfied with my life at all. And that feeling of lack, that feeling of being unfulfilled with what you do, almost feeling like you're used, right? You feel like, gosh, the world is using me because I can do so many things, but it's using my gift. It comes off, gross, that gross feeling. Yes, you get frustrated at times. Yeah. And so generators, I really want you to make sure that when you're feeling that feeling, that you look at what's not in my life that I'm passionate about. What if I said yes to things that I should not have said yes to? And then I want you to start delegating, deleting those, diminishing those, dropping those, any of those D's, kick them out, okay? And find a way to be more in your zone. So my husband is a generator, and I coach lots and lots of generators who have this thing, who have this struggle where they're like, well, I could do everything, honestly. So why wouldn't I? But you know what happens is, why wouldn't I? Well, because you're going to feel frustrated. You're going to feel used. You're going to feel diminished. And that is no way to live. That's no way to live. Exactly. Absolutely. It's no way to live. And I don't want you guys living like that. And I don't want you guys being, any of you guys, being, 10, 20 years, a year from now, thinking, goodness, why can't I just change? What's going on? Why can't I have a life that's filled with joy and abundance and all the things, right? Why can't I enjoy taking a walk around my neighborhood? Or why can't I, don't I have time for the things I enjoy, I wish I could take that walk, but I've got all these 5,000 things to do. Or I'm not supporting myself, or I've not cultivated a support group around me to help me execute my ideas and my direction that I want to go into. I don't want you guys to feel like that. And no one should feel like that. No one. All right, reflectors, your not self theme, which keeps you tied down, which basically is like that chugging car, is disappointment. That's your sign that you're not living your design. Okay. Remember, none of this is bad or good. It's all just, hey, this is a sign for you to use. This is in your toolbox. Disappointment comes from others not giving you space to be alone or to renewing your energy. Remember, if you look on that chart, I would be a reflector if I had all white centers. So if I took away those 2 centers that I have defined, I would be a reflector. Now we think, oh, well, reflectors must not have many gifts, but the cool thing about an open white center is you can feel everything around you. Okay. That makes me very intuitive. I used to think and I was just, having a conversation about this too with Scott last night, I think, about the podcast. I was like, hey, I have, what's great about me is all my open centers, because I can feel everybody's stuff, I do have to be watchful that I'm not carrying their load, but I can understand what they're going through. I can see what they're going through. I can see that unspoken conversation before it's even said. And that's a really cool gift. And that's a gift of having an open center. So with open intuition, I can feel what other people's fears are, and I can address those. And I've done that in a corporate world, and I've done that in coaching as well. And I used to think, oh, that's not really that special, but it is. So whenever you hear yourself saying, oh, that's not really special, be like, whoa, Courtney told me that is a sign to look at that gift and say, yeah, that is special. Yeah, that is super cool, because that comes easy to me. It doesn't come easy to others. So reflectors, you often are pushed to make decisions quickly, and reflectors need a lot of time to make decisions. So disappointment can come in where you're like, oh, this world just wants us to make decisions fast, so I gotta say a yes or a no. And then you're like, dang it, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said yes to something I should have said no to, And so pull yourself out of that and recognize, again, log and be like, okay, what is it that's off, and it will come to you. The answers are all inside of you. So if you're in this mode and you're thinking, you're like, I'm living my not self theme, this is a sign, just give yourself time to sit with it and say, what is off? What's off here? What do I need to reallocate? What do I need to remove? What do I need to realign with, so that I can be living my design and I can feel satisfied and happy and peaceful, because I'm going at velocity. I'm moving forward with velocity speed. Okay. Let's see. That's why I'm here with you now, because I love hearing about human design. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, love it. I love it. All right. Manifesting generators. Thank you again. Frustration is your not self theme. This is creating stagnation. This is creating a lack of speed. So when you move out of this, you're going to have that velocity that you want. And this can come out from burnout in your life and career. Again, saying yes to things you should have said no to, right? Saying, you know what, I can do all the things. So, and I like the way I do it better than anyone anyway. So I'm going to do all the things, that is no way to live. What is so beautiful about being, working with people, right, is that we can harness each other's gifts. We can harness each other's visions, and we can work together to create ideas from birth to out there, right? We can utilize teams to create that, or coaching to create that, or our family to create that. So what you're meant to do, MGs, is you're meant to do what you love. You're meant to do what you love. And that creates this beautiful energy that attracts people towards you. And your work won't feel like work when you do what you love. And that frustration of being like, oh, I've signed up for all these things because I could do it. You know what? I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to stay away from that and recognize through that awareness and that acceptance, and then I'm going to take action upon that, and I'm not going to do that again, okay? That's all it is, right? It's a guide for you to move into velocity. It's your guide. So link arms with it and take those next steps. Now, I am launching, in celebration of the Become podcast, a new course called Velocity, and I go into all these details even more. It's a 5-video series. Find out how to flip the switch and speed up to reach your goals faster, and find out the pitfalls that you should be watching out for, right? Pitfalls are so good to know, because instead of falling into the pitfalls, you can walk around them. Instead of getting beat up by them, you have control over your own life. And find out how you can get pedal to the metal results so that you can speed up and really become who you're meant to become. And from there, you're meant to do anything. The possibilities are endless. And so I'm giving this away, this beautiful new Velocity. It's a value of $147. And if you want to pay for it, it's $53. But you can get it for free by going onto my podcast, writing a review in either an Apple or Spotify, doing the stars. So all you have to do is say podcast below, and I can get you that link. There's also a homework post that just dropped. And on that homework post, it tells you how you can get this as well. So all you need to do is click on the link. I want you to subscribe to the podcast. I want you to listen for a few minutes or however long you want to, and then do the stars, and then screenshot that and drop it into the homework post. And then I'll message you with the coupon code for the course. So I want you guys to be connected with me, link arms, build that awareness, build that abundance, take those next steps to rise, to thrive. So it's a beautiful course. It's so, so good, you guys. It's really, really amazing. I'm really happy with it. And all you have to do is say podcast, and I'll get you those links. Remember to go onto the homework post and share that. Now, we're also giving away a human design reading to one person, and then another person is getting a free month of Become. So that's 2 people we're giving away. So you could get entered into all of those drawings and share. All you have to do is share the homework image on your stories. Is one entry. If you share it on your posts or wall, it's 1 entry. Make sure you tag me in it so I can shout you out as well and give you some love, because I love doing that. It's one of my favorite things. Drop the screenshot below for that into the homework post, okay? So that way I can keep a tally of who's doing what, because sometimes I miss tags, because there's so many of them. And so I don't want to miss your tag. My team is going to be looking for them, but I want you to make sure that you drop it in the homework post as well. And I will be doing the drawing. I'll announce the drawing next week. But as far as the Velocity course, you can get that right away, okay? That's free to you for subscribing and writing a review on Become. And just in celebration of what we're doing today, I have the most beautiful guest on today. Her name is Sasha Lipskaya, and we talk all about her defined energy centers and what it's like to be a manifesting generator. How does she live to be a better manifesting generator? All of these podcasts, I have guests come on and we see, what does it look like to actually live as a manifesting generator, or have an emotional inner authority, or have a defined sacral, or have a defined spleen, which is our intuition. What does that really look like? Now, when you go to my podcast, okay, let me pull it up. Hold on. Oh, you guys, my allergies. I'm doing all the things, but you know how that goes. I think Texas brought it early. Okay, here's mine. So here's mine on Spotify, guys. It's so crazy. It's so cool to see. Sasha is number 1, and hers is I Believe in Myself Relentlessly. Now, I did that title for a reason, because we talked all about her G center. Her G center is very anchored in. She has a lot of gates coming off her G center. Her G center is defined. She's channels, all the things. So even going to the podcast page, you notice how just reading the words is strengthening. how reading those words changes how you view yourself. Remember, the greatest work you can do is on yourself, and you should be doing that daily. The greatest work comes from inside. And the intro episode is I am powerful, purposeful, and profitable. Welcome to become. Right? So even reading those is going to pour into you every single day. Now, I release a podcast each week. I'm going to have a beautiful manifestor on next week. And I can't wait to share these episodes with you, to share how you can become, to share how you can rise, and hit those goals and those dreams with much more velocity than you ever thought were possible, just by living your design, just by aligning with who you really are and who you're meant to become. All right, you guys, I'm so excited. Please share these with your friends. If you have a podcast group, you're like, oh, look at this new podcast, share it out there. I love hearing your thoughts on it as well. So drop those in the comments. You guys, let's rise to thrive. I'll see you guys in the podcast.